Are we rolling? I think we're rolling. I can't see the numbers. Yes, okay. We are recording. Welcome to episode, I think this is 35. You can correct me if I'm wrong. And it is September. Last time I recorded, I said it was October. It was just wishful thinking. It's actually still September. I think the last time I recorded it must have been August. Yikes, it's been a while. It's been 2.5 weeks, I think. I think that's correct. I had wanted to record. I just realized my microphone was sitting on the ground. Pardon me, just one moment. I just painted my nails, so this is a little precarious. Hold on. Okay. Did I say who I was? I'm Sarah, love Sockwool on Ravelry and Instagram, and this is a podcast about knitting and crochet and sewing and quilting and all the fun things. So if you are interested in those things, then hopefully you will enjoy this podcast. If you're not interested in those things, then you probably won't. So, how are you? I hope you've had a lovely past couple of weeks. And I'm excited because it's starting to be fall here in Minnesota ever so slowly. We had some crisp days. And like today, it's going to be in the 70s, and tomorrow it's going to be even warmer, and Sunday it's going to be like 79. So I'm a little upset about that. I want it to be cold so I can wear all my hand-knit socks and shawls and eat all the pumpkin things, which incidentally, that's what we've been doing. We have been making pumpkin pies, pumpkin bread, pumpkin pancakes this morning. I made pumpkin spice latte mix from this recipe from a blog, the Oshi Glows blog, where she gives you make this simple syrup basically with pumpkin, maple syrup, spices, and you kind of cook it down into a syrup, and then you make your coffee or espresso, froth your milk, and then just add a couple teaspoons of the pumpkin spice syrup to it, and you can have a pumpkin spice latte whenever you want. So Priscilla and I did that on Saturday, and that was really fun. And it turned out pretty good. It probably was not quite the consistency that it should have been because we used fresh pumpkin from Ben's garden, so it was a little chunky. So you get to the end of your coffee and you're drinking the dregs of your coffee, and you're just chewing chunks of pumpkin. But that's okay. It's still fallish and autumnish and wonderful. I just painted my nails because I've been obsessed with gold nail polish. This is a color that I had to track down with subterfuge and texting of people to then text other people that I had met at a party that I didn't know who was wearing this nail polish, and I needed to know what the name of it was. And it is called Up to My Knees. I don't know if you can see that. Probably not, but maybe. And it's this brand, which I think you can get at salons, but you can get it online. If you just type it in the Google will find it for you. And also, in honor of, completely unrelated to knitting, but kind of related to knitting, I am wearing my Star Wars lipstick. Because we live in a day and age when us mere mortals can order Star Wars lipstick from the intergalactic CoverGirl company that lives in space. Isn't that fun? This one was gifted to me by my friend Jamie, so thank you, Jamie. And I finished my first Yoda sock from Mustache Yarns in the Star Wars Yoda colorway. And this is for Marshall for Christmas. And of course, it's just the first sock. I haven't finished the second one. The second one is a completely different color, but I'll show you that in a moment. But I thoroughly enjoyed knitting this sock for him. These will be for him, for Marshall for Christmas. And I ordered the companion set, and it's Yoda, and this is Obi-Wan. So I have not cast it on yet. I need to. The thing that's so fun about these companion sets is that you can knit a pair of socks, but you won't get second sock syndrome because the second sock is completely different. Yet they do go together. They're meant to be together. So that's really fun, and I'm excited. Han and Leia might be on their way to me at some point. I think that Miss Stacy is still dyeing them up, which is just fine. So I ordered that for Priscilla for Christmas, and she will be very excited because she loves her some Han Solo and Princess Leia. And I do apologize in advance that there will be no organization or order or symmetry to this episode at all. I have no idea what I'm going to talk about from one second to the next. Many socks have been cast upon the needles in the past days, but many have been cast off. A few of them are pairs, but not very many of them. But I'll show you what I got finished. Okay, so do you remember when I was knitting these? The West York, wow, it really goes with my sweater. It actually looks pretty good. This is West Yorkshire Spinners in the Goldfinch colorway. I really love them, and I'm very proud of myself for finishing them. I had the second sock going, and I knit them toe up, and I was like at about here. And then one day I picked it up, I was like, well, I'm almost to the heel flap, so I might as well just keep, get the Fish Lips Kiss done, which is in the Milk Bottle colorway, also West Yorkshire Spinners. And then after that, it just flew off the needle. So I could not be more pleased. And I cast on 64 stitches, 2.25 millimeter needle. And when I got to the top, I did 25 rounds of 2x2 ribbing. And I don't do any special cast off for the cuff. I know there's like Jenny's surprisingly stretchy bind off. I don't even think I know how to do that. Maybe I've done it once. What I do is I just get a sock needle that's a couple sizes bigger than what I knit the sock with, and I just bind off in ribbing, and it's plenty stretchy. It's no problem at all. So that's just what I do. So I'm so happy to have you stuff. And these count for my box o' socks for Miss Kristen in the Yarngasm podcast. So I have another pair finished for that. And let's see. Oh, okay. I did finish my first Sherlock sock for Ben in No Makers 221B Baker Street. I did not even remotely get any of these finished for Jilly and Nina's Sherlock Along for the month of August. I mean, it was September when I even cast off the first one, but oh well. And I knit these toe up as well with a lovely red Fish Lips Kiss heel. So now what I'm trying to decide is what I want to do for the second sock, because this is 3x1 ribbing, just a basic 3x1, but I'm kind of bored with that, and I don't want to knit that pattern for the second sock. So I'm trying to decide if I should do the Wendelin socks or if I should do 6x2 ribbing, vanilla latte. I think I might do 6x2, but I have to work out how I get the instep symmetrical, so I have to figure that out. And I'm trying to decide if I want to do them top down or toe up. I may do them top down because for some reason toe up socks seem to take me a lot longer than top down. I don't know why, because it shouldn't. It's especially when you do a Fish Lips Kiss heel, it's the same numbers. You're knitting the exact same amount of rows, but it just feels wrong or something. I need to knit them top down in order to feel like a normal human knitter. That makes no sense, but I know you know what I mean. Maybe a few of you. Okay, so look at this. I finished my Molly Weasley socks. I cast the second one on Sunday, and look at that. I was done with it by Thursday. That's almost a record for me. It's not a record, but it's almost a record for me. So when I can just get those second ones cast on, I can crank them out pretty quick. So I'm so happy because now all I have left to do for romantic couples from Harry Potter is finish Ben's Arthur socks, which maybe I can get that one cast on this weekend. We'll see. I hope these fit, Ben. I feel like they're not long enough. I did a fish lips kiss heel, and I can't remember if I knit the foot long enough. I don't know. It'll just have, it should be fine. So I need to get the second one going, and that will fly off the needles too, if I can just get it on the needles. Okay, so I'm so happy to have these done, and these were really fun to knit. And I was inspired to go ahead and get the second one cast on because this Molly Weasley colorway, and all of these are no makers, it's very autumnal and Halloween-y, isn't it? The orange and the purple. So I just thoroughly enjoyed knitting the second sock again. I love these. And I've got my Hermione socks in here somewhere. Here they are. Also no makers, and all of these are in the House Gnome base, which is really, I think, my favorite no makers base. It's so soft and cloud-like. But you know, they're going to be sturdy because they do have a bit of nylon content in them. It's a 75-25, I believe. But they're so comforting to knit, and I love them. I love that base. I think the reason why I like it is because it's like a fine fingering. What am I trying to say? Okay, so it's not a beefy sock yarn. It's not like the Post sock yarn from Simply Sock Yarn, which is a Corriedale or Corriedale base. But I don't know, it's just easy on my fingers to knit. I think that's what I'm trying to say. It's very easy and delightful to knit. So I had to do a bit of organizing of my box socks because it was out of control. It probably looks like it's out of control, but actually it doesn't look too bad. What I had to do was, I was realizing that a lot of the things in here do not count for the box socks because they're either finished pairs that I cast on last year, but I finished the second sock this year, or they're just single socks. Like, there's just a lot going on in here, and I knew that quite a bit of it does not even count for Kristen's cow. So for her year-long box of socks cow. So I had to go through and figure out what counts and what doesn't. And there's actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 pairs of socks in here that don't even count for the cow. But I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 that do. So, okay. So all of these socks here, I cast them on in 2015 or even earlier, maybe even 2014, but I finished them this year. All of these, except maybe you guys can help me remember. I don't remember when I cast on my Tea Party Felici socks. I have no idea. I can't remember if I cast them on last year or this year, but I was counting them because I can't remember. And then these are Marshall, I keep saying Marshall. These are Ben's Ron Weasley socks. I don't know if they count because I think the box of socks, they have to all be for yourself, quite selfishly, but I could be wrong. So I think I may have 9 pairs. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 pairs of socks. So that means I have to knit 3 more pairs before the end of the year. Can I do it? Yes, I think I can, because I have 5 jillion socks on the needles as we speak. So would you like to see some more of them? Because there are plenty more. And there are plenty more that are just waiting to be cast upon the needles, because I'm sure I will, because I cannot hold myself back because I cannot be stopped. All of the socks must be knit right now. Would you like to see this basket I picked up off the side of the road for free? Isn't it adorable? It's like a little apple basket or something. It's got a handle. I grabbed that thinking that's perfect for putting socks in. Everything is perfect for putting socks in. Okay, so many of you may have seen this sock. I cast it on a week or 2 ago. It is Hedgehog Fibers, of course, in the Boombox colorway. I think I have the label. And Boombox, and I got it from an online shop, which I think is also a physical store. It's Hill Country Weavers. I think it's in Texas. Isn't it fun and speckly and ridiculous? So I'm almost ready for the heel flap. I love it so much. I adore hedgehog fibers. You should always be knitting hedgehog fibers, right, Jilly? One must always have hedgehog fibers on the needles at all times, no matter what. Oh my goodness, look at this one. This is my llama corn sock for the unicorn cow, which I hope that counts because it's technically not a unicorn, it's a llama corn, but it's the same idea. And this is dyed up by the beautiful Pandia's Jewels. Love, love, love her yarns. She has really unique and special colorways. It says on the sparkle base, it's her super sparkle base. And again, I'm also almost ready for the heel flap on this one, but I'm trying to decide if I want to do a fish lips kiss or a traditional heel flap and gusset. I have not decided. We shall see. And both of these are on 2.25 millimeter needles, and these are the Knit Picks Majestics. Do I have Majestics on this one? Yeah, I've got Majestics on this one as well. And these really are my favorite needles right now. These and the Knit Pro Zings are my favorite needles to knit with. I'll show you a sock next that has the zings on them. Okay, so yesterday I went a little crazy with the pumpkin and the fall sock yarn cast-ons. Okay, so here's some zings in the 2.25s. I love these. I need to order more of these because they are delightful. Okay, so this is Butterbeer by No Makers. I have wanted this colorway for a long time, and she finally had some on House Gnome. Maybe she had it before and I just didn't know, but anyway, I saw it and was able to get a skein. And I'm using the Molly Weasley Family Sock pattern by Molly of a Homespun House, which I love. Again, that is another pattern that I need to always have that pattern on my needles because it's just cozy and delightful, and it's Harry Potter, and this is a Harry Potter sock yarn with a Harry Potter pattern. All Harry Potter sock yarns should be knit in the Molly Weasley Family Sock recipe pattern. I hope I'm saying that right. It's just fun. And then let's see, I've got my pumpkin spice latte. How appropriate. I was knitting a square of this yarn. I had a mini of it, and I was knitting a square on one of my Cozy Memories blankets. And as I was knitting it, I was like, I have a whole skein of this. I should just knit them. It's fall. I've been drinking pumpkin spice lattes. I need to knit pumpkin spice lattes. So there you go. I did it. Now this is also Majestic needles from Knit Picks, size 0, because I have been finding, at least how I feel, I could be wrong. I could always be wrong. Always assume that I'm wrong until you empirically find out otherwise. But this is the wonderful No Makers Scruffy Gnome, which is her tweed sock yarn. And I have several of her Scruffy Gnomes. I feel like it's a little bit finer sock yarn than other ones. And I like the gauge I get with zeros. I have a, well, let's see. So this is Scruffy Gnome, and I did 2.25, and it's okay. I didn't want to use zeros because these were for Ben, and it would take me forever to knit them, but really, I like the gauge I get with zeros for Scruffy Gnome. And I cast on 68. These will probably be for me or someone else with similar foot size. I've in my Playful Kittens bag I made for myself. I love it. It's so cute and whimsical. Okay, there has to be more socks. There's got to be more socks. There probably are, and I can't remember where I put them all because they are in several places. I did try to consolidate them all into one central location so that I can not be a complete psychopath, but they do keep just multiplying and spreading all over the house like tribbles. This is another sock I finished. It's a single sock. I have not cast on the second one yet, but this is Molly's yarn of a Homespun House, and it's the Metamorphosis colorway on her soft sock base. And I love it. It's really beautiful. I need to get the second one going. I love it so much. I think, is that it for single socks? I think so. Yes. I feel like there was something else I was going to say. What was it? Was it something with socks? Socks! Sockage! Okay, cozy memories. I have a few. This is my smaller cozy memories blanket, and I'm trying to figure out which colors I've put on since last I showed it to you. I've put on quite a few. I put on Boombox immediately after winding up that yarn because I just love it. It's such a happy colorway. This is, did I show this last time? I don't even remember. I apologize if I'm showing it two times, but it's so pretty that who cares? So White Birch Fiber Arts, does this rainbow make my black look big? I love how that knitted up. I purposely wound off some of the black yarn so that because, okay, so there's quite a big black stripe on those socks. Where are they? They're in here somewhere. Okay, so here's the socks. So I wound off like half of it so that way when I was knitting up the square, where did it go? It's missing. I could have the whole rainbow on the square because that is very important. And then here is Polyjuice Potion on House Gnome. I have that second sock going. That one is ready for the heel turn. I just have not done it yet. West Yorkshire Spinners in, I believe, Hollyberry, my Christmas socks. I love this yarn. Llama Corn by Pandius Jewels. I had to immediately put that. And I also made a Bird of Happiness with this yarn, and that was really fun to do, but it's already gifted away, so I don't have it to show. I made a couple of those birds last week or 2 weeks ago. I used some of Kristen's Octopus Garden, and I made a little bird out of that. That turned out really pretty, but I've already gifted that one away as well. Okay, so let me find, there's more squares. Okay. Then I put this on. This is Spun Right Round in Mutant Flamingo, I think. Is that what that is? Something like that. And it's her, it's the base that I think is Polworth or Corriedale, I'm not sure. And Homespun House Metamorphosis in the soft sock base. Yoda! Had to get Yoda on there. And then I put Obi-Wan, some kind of little fuzzy hair. That one, see, the stripes are so big. Where is Yoda? I put him. So, yeah, I should have wound off some of the brown so I could get more, because there is blue in Obi-Wan. But I didn't want to waste, any of the yarn winding it off, but it kind of got stuck in the pink and the brown. But there is like more like white and blue, so I didn't even get to that. I'll have to put another square on when I finish the second sock so I can get some of the blue. Okay, so this is Knit Picks, and it's their Alpaca Cloud Fingering. So you know how they have Alpaca Cloud lace weight, which is like frog hair. It's so skinny. I wanted to see what their fingering was like, and I got a couple of skeins of it. Do I have it? I actually do. Hold on. It's kind of behind the camera here. So they were having a sale of it. It's like $5 a skein. So I got a couple skeins. So this one is Mosley from Downton Abbey. This one is Algernon, which I think is also from Downton Abbey. I think it's the guy wrote Lady Rosemary's, isn't it? Algie? Am I wrong? I could be completely wrong. But I think that's right. I need to Google it. And then this is Rose. So I was So I got these 3 colors thinking, oh, they're all Downton Abbey colorways. So I can save these for Jilly, the Knitting Broomstick, the Downton Abbey fandom along in November. But I don't know if I would use all 3. I was like, these look kind of good together. Mosley and Algernon, and I was gonna call it like obscure male characters from Downton Abbey. I don't know. I'm not even sure if I have the characters right. And then there's Rose. So then, and if she did marry this guy, if this is who I think it is, then they should be together because they got married. And there's Fuzz on here. So I don't know what I shall do. And then I thought, well, this looks good too, but then Rose and Mosley, that's kind of weird. I don't know if I could do that. But the colors look really nice. And then these look nice, but then I don't know, it's just, I get stuck on the fandoms and the names. Like, the colors themselves look good together, but then I'm thinking of the names together. I'm like, I don't know if that makes sense. That might be too weird. Yeah, so here's Rose. And then I don't know if, I have one more, which is not Downton Abbey related. This one is Jo from Little Women. And I just loved it because it's such a vibrant, crazy red. But the thing is, so I wound it up and put a square on my blanket so I could see how it knit up. I mean, it's classified as fingering, but it is very light fingering. I think I would enjoy double stranding it, but I didn't get 2 of each color. I only got 1. So I'm really not sure what I'll do with these. They were very inexpensive. They were only $5, so it's a good deal. These, I kind of like these 2 together, even though I know pink and red shouldn't really go together, but I really like these 2 together. But then I'd be mixing Little Women and Downton Abbey. Can I do that? Of course I can, but I don't know if I want to. And I don't know what I would make because it is very fine fingering. I feel like I would need to use very small needles to get any kind of a dense gauge because I don't like loose, airy gauges. I like things to be dense. Just like me. Oh my goodness. Everybody's turned this podcast off and clicked thumbs down and unsubscribe because that makes no sense whatsoever. Back to the Cozy Memories blanket. So the current square I have going is a mini from Spin Monkeys that I got a long time ago, and it's a beautiful purple. I don't remember the name of it, but it's really pretty. So yes, this is Cozy Memories blanket number 2. And I did put a couple squares on Cozy Memories blanket number 1, which is right here, which I haven't pulled this one out in a long time because it's been too hot to work on it. So let me find the squares that I have been working on. Okay, so I had finished Hermione a long time ago and didn't work on it for a long time, and then picked it up and I put this mini from Miss Sue Knit 24 of the Legacy Knits podcast from our swap. I think it's a Juliana's fiber. I think. I could be wrong, but it's a sparkle. It's very pretty. It's kind of autumnal. And then I put a mini from my Brew City Yarns Peter Pan collection. This is Wendy Bird. And then here is where it all went downhill from here because I put the pumpkin spice latte square on and I had to cast on my pumpkin spice latte socks because I was just enjoying that square so much. And then more no makers. This is a sonic screwdriver from Doctor Who, and this is on her fancy gnome base, which is her MCN from No Makers. It is a dream to knit with. It is fantastic. I love it. This is the only skein I've ever bought from Amanda on the fancy gnome base, but I definitely want more. Okay, so now I have to figure out what I'm going to put on next. I think I'm going to put, where did I put that ball? So I've got Toadstools at Twilight, so I'm going to put that one on next. And these are all the colorways that I used on my coffee date shawl by CC Almond, which I finished. I keep forgetting to bring that over. I finished it as a small one for Juliet. but I used sonic screwdriver, toadstools at twilight, and I used fireflies. But I stole that yarn to put the Boneyard garter stripe on my Party on My Needles mashup Boneyard shawl, which I did not bring over because I have not worked on any of my shawls at all. But anyway, I wanted all these colors together on my Cozy Memories blanket since I used them for the shawl, the coffee date shawl. If any of this is making any sense, good. I apologize if none of this is making any sense at all. I'm assuming that you have seen past episodes and you'll know what I'm talking about. So this has gotten quite large. And I might just put a couple more rows on it and call it done. And then I have to figure out how I want to finish it. And I have some ideas that do not involve any kind of edging of I-cord variety or anything. What I think I want to do is, well, I'll have to measure it to see how much fabric I need, but I think I'm going to go get some flannel fabric or something and just put a backing on it like it's a quilt and do a fold over binding along the edges and just sew down a seam, because then when I go to put it on my sewing machine to sew, the sewing machine would never be touching knitted fabric. It would only be touching the flannel on the bottom of the blanket and the fold over binding on the top. And then that way it seals up the whole blanket. And also, those of you out there who take umbrage at weaving in ends, Miss Nina, that would be a way that you could knit a Cozy Memories blanket without having to weave in any ends at all, because you could just hide them behind a backing. What do you think of this? I think it's genius. And so if weaving in ends is holding you back from starting a Cozy Memories blanket, maybe you could just put a backing on it, like as if it were a quilt. And then you could hide all of your strings and not have to weave in any ends. You probably would want to weave in the ends that are along the edge though, but you wouldn't have to weave in all the ones on the back. Now this is the back. I weave in all my ends as I go because I always keep in my Cozy Memories bag, which is right here. Where is it? Okay. I always keep a little notions pouch in my Cozy Memories bag with scissors and several like yarn needles and whatnot. So as soon as I cast off a square, I just immediately grab a needle and just weave in the end. And there's only 2 ends, so it's very fast. Now, sometimes I might not do that for a couple of squares, but usually I stay on top of it because I don't like seeing all the ends hanging there. So anyway, that's my idea for finishing it. So we'll see if it actually happens, but I do need to put, I think, 3 more long rows on it to make it be a nice rectangle. So yes, I love it. And we've kind of been using it. I even had it on my bed the other night and we were snuggling with it. And Juliet is desperate to sleep with it, basically. She wants this blanket to be done so she can just wrap herself up in it. I'm always trying to extricate it from her because she's so crazy. Like, she'll be rolling all over the place, stretching it all out. I'm like, stop, you're gonna ruin it before I've even finished it. Okay. I think, oh, I do have more knitting. There's always more knitting. There's never not more knitting. The only shawl I've worked on a bit is my Party on My Needles by Joji Locatelli, with all my scraps. And I'm to the lace. I've done 3 of the lace repeats. And it really is quite easy. It's not hard or anything, but for some reason I keep losing track. I'm like, what row am I on again? Because, in between the lace, you're striping and you're doing it's not hard at all, but I just keep forgetting what row I'm on. I'm not capable of keeping track. Yeah, I was watching Jilly's podcast yesterday, the Knitting Broomstick, and she was talking about how, like, at this stage of life, we just can't handle complicated patterns at all. That's why plain vanilla socks are just brilliant and the best, because you can just relax and knit them and enjoy them. You still have a beautiful finished object, but you didn't have to think at all, because all of the thinking is already being done raising small humans. That's all I can handle right now. And I'm not even doing that very well. Let's just be clear. I am not raising humans very well. I'm making all kinds of mistakes, but the brain power is just not there for much else. Incidentally, if you were wondering, the blue stripe is this lovely blue from Malabrigo Mechita, and I don't remember the name. I got it in North Carolina at a local yarn shop there. And then this is leftover Holy Festival from several projects. I love it. I love a good single ply. And then I still have a couple boneyards going. I've got my Pandy's Jewels boneyard. I've got my Chroma fingering from Knit Picks going. I really want to pick them up again. I just have been very excited about socks, because I'm always excited about socks. I can't ever not be excited about knitting socks. Shall we talk about a little stash enhancement? So the cloud fingering was some stash enhancement, and so was this. This is Hedgehog Fibers, as you can see, in the Fool's Gold colorway. I've been wanting this ever since I saw my friends Karen and Patty. I think they both have this colorway, and it's so beautiful, and it's autumnal. It's very harvesty goldy, but yet with speckles of awesomeness right in there and right here. Love it, love it, love it, love it. These might have to get cast on when I'm done with the boombox ones. Okay, so this yarn I'm about to show you is so beautiful. I could cry and weep tears of joy. Let me see if I can figure out how to get it open. I will not apologize for the crinkling, because it is the happiest sound in the world to a knitter's ears to hear crinkling. Okay, so this is Woolen Vine, because it's magical and awesome and wonderful. And I hope that you all can knit her yarns, because it's brilliant. It's I Am No Bird from Jane Eyre. And I love it. Of course, it is on the blitzed base. Jane Eyre is one of my favoriteest books I've ever read as a child, young adult, whatever. I've read it a couple times, and I want to read it again just because of this colorway. I need to cast these on, probably a pair of socks, and just read Jane Eyre. I love the name I Am No Bird. And I thought it would be so funny to do. I need to make a bird of happiness with this colorway, because irony, how hilarious would that be? It's a bird of happiness made out of I Am No Bird. I have to do it. Maybe I will do that soonish, but I love it dearly. I want to cast this on right away, but I kind of can't bear to, because it's too precious. So I was able to get that, and I also got this. Je ne sais quoi. Very French and lovely and beautiful. I had thought about pairing, I think they're beautiful together, and I had thought about knitting a Pure Joy by Joji Locatelli with this, but because I have so many shawls on the needles, I can't bear to cast another one on, because then it will just take me 5 years to finish all of the other ones, and I really should try to finish some of them before I cast on a Pure Joy. But wouldn't these be pretty together? I think they would be stunning. Like this, I would do this as the main color, and then I would do this as the lace stripe and then the edging. But I really want these to be socks, so I don't know. But I don't know what I'll do with this if I don't knit a shawl, because I don't know. I always have dilemmas with knitting shawls, because I want shawls to be big. Like, I don't want them to be tiny little scarfettes. I want them to be big, but one skein is really not enough to make it big, so I'd have to pair it with something else. And then I'm like, well, what do I pair it with? And then I have all these inner turmoils and I can't make decisions. So until we figure it out, we will just admire them and cry and weep tears of joy because of their beauty. Okay, enough nonsense. I think that might have to be it. Oh, there was a bit of crochet, just a bit, not a whole lot. But I thought I would just pull it out and show you because I haven't shown it in a while. So this is my Scrappy crochet granny square. And I love that so many of you are also doing this. And I love that Kristen is making a rectangular one. I want to do that too. Although I guess I technically already am because I'm doing the granny stripe. But she's doing like a granny rectangle. So it's like already in the shape, but you're going around and around. It's not back and forth stripes. But this one is my square. And I can't remember the last time I showed it. So I thought I would just show it again, because the colors are just so fun and vibrant. And so, okay, the color that is currently being hooked onto here is Polyjuice Potion on the sparkle base, which I kind of got for my blanket. I should not have done that. That was bad and naughty and ill-advised, but I did it. It's done. What can you do? So you might as well crochet it. It's just fun. The more colorful it is, the better. So yeah, maybe I can put some work on this today, I hope. So I thought I'd just give that a show because I haven't shown it off in a while. I do love it. Okay, what else can we speak of? Okay, we have been watching, not really kind of binge watching season 5 of Once Upon a Time. Hilarious. Actually, you know what? Oh no, I'm gonna pick up my Cozy Memories. I might knit a row or two or something on that purple square while I talk about TV. I have really been enjoying Once Upon a Time. If you haven't watched it, you should. You'll get some laughs. It's so convoluted and ridiculous. Like, you think they're going to tie everything all together, and then some crazy, insane twist happens with all these other mythical fantasy fairy tale characters that you're like, how are they going to work that in? How are they going to fix that? I am waiting for Harry Potter to show up on this show. They're probably going to work Harry Potter in somehow, but they better not make him a villain because I would be very upset. So Priscilla and I have been enjoying season 5 of Once Upon a Time, and there are rumors that season 6 is going to be on shortly. I am knitting. Look, it's the wrong side, so I don't have to worry about decreases. What else have we been watching? I can't think. I have been reading. I finished Twilight because I'm 14 years old. And I enjoyed it thoroughly. And I downloaded New Moon from library onto my Kindle. But I got distracted from reading that because I also got from the library on an ebook the first book in the All Souls trilogy, The Discovery of Witches, in preparation for October's fandom along in Jilly's group, which she's going to be doing a knit along for that series, which will be really fun. And I'm really enjoying it. It's kind of Twilight-esque, but probably much better writing. So I'm really enjoying that. I'm like only a quarter of the way through it, and it's really good. What else have I been reading? That's it, really. Yeah, nothing too crazy or exciting. What have you been reading? Do tell us. And the quilt along. Let me just talk about that for a moment. I did start my Ballard quilt, but I'm sadly only oops, there goes something, my crochet hook. I'm only 2 squares into it. I had a goal of trying to do a couple a day all week, and then I just have been getting sidetracked because I've been working on bags for my Etsy shop. So I didn't have time to do my quilting, but that's okay. So the fabrics I'm using this is Calico Days by Riley Blake is just fun, cheerful, kind of vintagey fabrics. I love it so much. And then, so that's it. This is a layer cake, so they're 10-inch by 10-inch blocks, and it's pre-cut. Don't have to cut anything, which is wonderful because it really hurts my wrists just cutting fabric all the time. So if you can get pre-cuts, it's fabulous. Okay, so then the jelly roll is Backyard Roses, also by Riley Blake, and it really coordinates well with the Calico Days. So you use the jelly roll for the borders. And then the batting is Warm and Natural batting. And I ordered it from Amazon. I've discovered that I think the cheapest way to get Warm and Natural batting is from Amazon. So that's what I'm doing from now on. And this is the Ballard quilt from the Quilt As You Go Made Modern book by Jira Brandvig. And I love it. And this is like my 4th Ballard quilt. So maybe today I can get a few more squares done. We shall see. I've just been so excited about all my socks and all the cozy memories. That's all I wanted to do. So there's a thread in the Ravelry group, Love Sockwool Podcast Ravelry group on Ravelry, for Quilt As You Go. So if you are wanting to try this technique and you want some cheerleaders to help you get going, come post what you're working on in that thread. And I'm being very casual, laid back about it. I may open up like a finished object thread at some point so you can show off what you've finished. And I'm trying to think about maybe some prizes, smallish prizes, like maybe a charm pack or something like that. I have to think through that. But I'll probably just keep that thread open through to the end of the year, really, because we might want to work on Christmas quilts, Advent quilts. That would be fun. So yeah, and it doesn't have to be full on huge quilts. Like if you want to try something small, make little coasters or placemats or a table runner, you know, do start small. Do something you can do in an afternoon, because that's satisfying and fun. So I think I'm done, and I apologize for being insane and not making any sense, and I hope you're able to understand me. Yeah, you're very kind to put up with me, and I appreciate it, and I appreciate all of you very much. I will see you on Instagram. I will see you on Ravelry, and have a wonderful day today. It's Friday, so yay! It's always fun when Friday comes around because I always feel like there's a bit more time to do the things that you love and spend time with family, and it's wonderful. So take care, and I'll see you next time. Bye!